Huge updates from the Michigan synagogue shooting. I'm so glad that they got that nut job, and every single one of them that try this, I hope you get smoked like a brisket. Now let's get to the breaking news. We have out of Michigan a active shooter situation. Shooter has been neutralized as of right now, but I want to give you a quick update if you haven't seen this yet. Roll the first clip.
That security at the temple saw the gunman and engaged him at the temple. They said no one confirmed to be hurt at this time. Too early to connect this to terrorism, says the sheriff, and we could be getting playback of the sheriff sometime soon here. The suspect is not in custody. So they are right now looking to see if there's more than one suspect, but they are telling people within a mile they should shelter in place. Everyone has been moved out of the school. That is the update from the sheriff there in Oakland County, Nicole.
That's extremely important right there. They engaged with the alleged shooter right there. That is huge. That is huge. That's important, and that's what needs to happen.
All right, so just a little bulletin here, just to add to what was just reported now. I'm hearing from a senior law enforcement source that the person who was driving the vehicle, the alleged shooter, is reported to be dead. So we had the alert from the sheriff that the suspect was not in custody. I'm being told by a senior law enforcement official that the suspect is believed to be dead.
Good. Thank God they were able to get him. And this is why you need security at your place of worship. You have to have security. Let me just explain this real quick. Two things as a former police officer. One, when they say that they don't have the suspect, it is conducive for them to make sure that anybody that could possibly be involved is in custody, and at least they've had an opportunity to search the area to make sure. Because you could have somebody, and this is a tactic that sometimes they use. Thank God these people are stupid and they don't use military tactics or SWAT tactics or any kind of follow-up tactic, which means that you go in, you do this, but you have another person, once they evacuate, come in and do other stuff. So the police officers have to make sure that they're accounting for every possible suspect involved, but the dummy that was involved is now dead as a doornail. And I'm glad that they smoked him like a brisket or like a bacon-wrapped jalapeno popper. That's all I want to see. I wish they have video. I want to play the video of them smoking this guy, because you are an evil, ignorant, stupid, demonic, possessed person if you think that it makes sense to plow a vehicle into a place of worship. I don't care if you did it at a mosque. If you gonna plow your car into somewhere because you don't like the God that somebody else serves, or you don't like a group of people, or you're targeting people who you think are soft targets, good for you. You will burn in hell with 5.56 rounds in your chest. I can't stand these people, and I hope we kill every single one of them when they go and try to harm innocent people. Full stop. I hate that word full stop, but that was the appropriate word to say at this moment. But I'm glad they were able to neutralize the threat. This is why it's so important to have security at your place of worship and at places where people are vulnerable. And this is exactly why I started Black Line Security. And I like literally, every church in America, every place of worship should have security. And for those who cannot afford security, hit us up at Black Line Guardian Fund, okay? Black Line Guardian Fund, we raise money, 501c3, so you can give a tax-deductible donation, and we will help these places that cannot afford security get the security that they need. Black Line is a nonprofit, like I said. I'm not even involved in the financial side of that, which means that I don't get no money from it. I don't want nothing from it. We just created a nonprofit to help people in need that need security. So if you're interested, hit the QR code. If you're a person that needs security or you want to learn more, hit the QR code and we can address that. All right, let's get to, I think that was it. That's all we have for breaking news. When we get more information, we'll let you guys know. I think we have one more clip, and if we get other breaking information, we'll let you guys know. Roll the clip.
What do you have, Garrett?
Yeah, John and Sandra, we got a little bit more from the Oakland County Sheriff, who said at this point they are not seeing any active stimulus. So it appears that this may not be an ongoing threat. As you mentioned, the sheriff said that security saw the shooter and engaged them. What they are doing now is searching the area and trying to get a hold of the security camera video at that synagogue to make sure that there was, in fact, just one shooter and that there isn't another person that they need to be looking for right now. At this point, the sheriff said that it doesn't appear to be any injuries other than potentially the shooter, but he also noted it's very early on to say definitively if that's going to remain the case. There's going to be a reunification at.
We got the gist of what happened. I want to add this part. I guarantee you this was a Muslim terrorist. I guarantee you it was somebody inspired by ISIS as one of these radical Islamic groups that made a person go to a synagogue and commit a terrorist attack and attempt to do that in the face of the war in Iran. We've already seen it happen in Austin. We saw it happen the other day in New York. This is a repetitive theme. And I want y'all to be very clear. If you're watching a news outlet, and now right now it's preliminary, so they don't know, and they can't say unless they verify, because this could have just been a nut job attacking the church. I think it probably was a ISIS-inspired idiot who's going and doing exactly what we thought they would do. The sleeper cell situation in America is exactly this. This is what they do. They're going to go out and create jihadists, and they're going to go out and commit crimes of active violence. And you know who's not going to talk about it? The left-wing media, who's in bed with these nut jobs and suffer from suicidal empathy. They want to bring these people in this country for them to do this. This should be instantaneous death penalty, either at the scene, or if you get caught, you get I don't want to hear nothing about due process or nothing. If they find you, or not say due process, but you don't get an appeal or none of that. If you are found guilty either by eyewitness testimony that's visible, you got to have legitimate witnesses and legitimate video footage, and or a spontaneous utterance or statement that alludes to a confession or is a direct confession, you should get the death penalty on the spot. I don't see why we even argue with this. This needs to come to an end, and people need to know that it's punitive if you go and do something like this. It was the other shooting that occurred, because we had two shootings today. We were going to get to the Old Dominion, but there's an update from the Old Dominion shooting. We're going to jump to that story. As a matter of fact, let's jump to the story now. We'll come back to Fetterman. Let's jump to the story now. This is a witness at the Old Dominion shooting where two people were injured. The gunman was killed. And so we have a witness. We have a witness that have come out and identified what this person is saying is the shooter. Now, I'm telling you right now, I swear I'm going to lose my socks if the Democrats and everybody in America don't address this issue. If this is another Islamic terrorist activity, these are the sleeper cells that are being activated. That is the most, I would say, terroristic behavior in a month span that we've ever seen out of any radical group. That means that Austin, I forget the other one that just happened, and then the one that happened today, which was at the synagogue, and then now we have the one at Dominion University, or the University of College. So breaking news, let's roll the news. This is what a witness had to say about that shooting, and we're going to talk about that shooting now and move it up in the list because we have new news. Roll it.
Yeah. And this is Old Dominion University. Police cars there you can see gathered. A gunman is dead after injuring two people at Old Dominion University, according to officials there at the school. A gunman opened fire in Constant Hall at about 10:50 a.m. East Coast time. And officials are saying two people were hurt as a result. We do not know what their conditions medically are right now. This is all the information we're getting in right now. And you're looking again. This.
Okay, and it's a witness statement. Roll it.
Was the shooter? Did they describe those people at all?
The description of the shooter, they said he was a Muslim man. I know he was a student at ODU.
So a little short excerpt is that they said that he was a Muslim man. Now, that could mean a bunch of things, right? That could be a Muslim guy losing his mind and doing this not as an act of terrorism. I just want to be fair. But what are the odds? I'm telling you, like this is why people are saying that Muslims should not be in America. And I know that there's good Muslims in America that don't adhere to this. And I obviously think that there's a place in America for people like that. But we have to acknowledge the fact that at some point we got to stop letting these people in our country because their ideology is susceptible to brainwashing and acts of terroristic violence. These are regular people who are Muslims and have a faith practice that's similar to the dummies in Iran, and they are going to act out in the interest of their faith. The attack. Let me just tell you this. I bet you that if we hadn't attacked Iran, these sleeper cell individuals would have found another reason to do the damage and violence that they're going to do. We just decided to cut the snake head off first. And now we see some residual effect of what they already want to do. These people are not sitting in America with no ideology or terroristic ideology, and all of a sudden they get spun up. No, they are waiting. They've been indoctrinated on a faith that's incompatible with the United States of America and what we believe. And they're waiting for the opportunity and moment for their commander to say, it is time to execute. And what are they going to do? Commit acts of terrorism from now until we completely eliminate all these people. That's what's going to happen, unfortunately. And people need to be vigilant. Keep your eye on the peel, because these nut jobs can pop up anywhere. And you better be ready to put them down like a rabid dog.